From humble beginnings with a small group of farm workers to today providing a vital link for the Hispanic community, PRAC of Southern New Jersey is making a difference. We learned about their exciting fundraising event, Legends of Salsa, plus we discussed their great partnership with the Levoy Theatre and its resurgence. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. In 1971, a group of Salem County farm workers formed a group for the purpose of advancing, promoting, and enhancing opportunities for Latinos. Today, PRAC of Southern New Jersey continues to serve as a vital link for the Hispanic community of Salem, Cumberland, and Cape May counties. With me is the director and CEO of the organization, Ralph Padilla. Ralph, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thanks for having me, Bert.
Hey, it's great to have you on the show, and I love history. So I love the fact that there was this group of farm workers that decided to come together and try to make their life better here in Southern New Jersey, and out of that came PRAC of Southern New Jersey. Tell me a little bit about that first start of that organization.
Well, it's a great story. It's a great organization. You know, as we know, we are the Garden State. You know, oftentimes people see that on the license plate and they think of North Jersey and, you know, all that traffic and all the, you know, the infrastructure. But Salem County in the early 70s, a large agricultural location and a large migrant farm worker population. So a group of individuals from the Penns Grove, Carneys Point, Salem area formed together to, you know, really represent the rights of farm workers, which at that point were traditionally coming from different towns from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I know my dad came in as a farm worker from Lattice, Puerto Rico, came and worked in the fields in Violin, New Jersey. So he was part of that history way back then.
Well, our stories are very similar. My father came here and, you know, he worked in Glassboro and then, you know, moved on, transitioned on. But again, that was often the first, you know, access for them coming here to the continental United States.
Now, you came on as the CEO, and obviously you've made some significant progress since you came on board to take the organization to the next level. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, you know, in an organization like that, we do a lot of great things. But more importantly, I think the most important asset that we have is the human capital. The people that we have, the people that work there day in and day out, the case managers, the program managers from the programs, they're the ones that make PRAC great. We have expanded our services over the years. We have home ownership programs. We have economic development programs.
Now, we want to go a little bit in depth on that. And one of the things I also want to point out is you still have local involvement. So you have a board, and the board is very well connected to the community.
Absolutely. And I think when we're dealing with organizations such as this, to have a board that's reflective of the community we serve, very important. We have a very diverse board with people with subject matter expertise coming from business to education to social services. And their support has been just enormous for our, you know, recent success with the organization.
You still got some of the old timers involved?
Absolutely. We have Jose Sanchez, who is an amazing man who's been there since 1971. He started off as a teenager volunteering, and he's still there, proudly serving this organization. And we're real happy to have him still here. And he's the elder statesman of the group there.
Now, we mentioned the counties of Salem, Cape May, and Cumberland. So what are we doing in these three different counties?
In regards to Salem and Cape May County, we currently have offices in those counties. We provide stem to stern services. We assist families. We have the LIHEAP program that assists family with energy assistance programs. We also have, again, case management services to transition people from renting and leasing to eventual home ownership. One of the programs that we've been working on recently, which we're so proud of, we're the largest provider of breast health awareness, education, and prevention in South Jersey. And Latinas, are affected disproportionately because they're the type of people or women that take care of everybody and take care of themselves last. So we work in collaboration with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We do a lot of great things with free mammograms.
It's a very good program. In fact, I had, I believe, Ms. Ortiz come on the show and talk a little bit about that, because there is such a big gap within the Latino community, particularly for those kind of services like cancer, not getting the screening on time, and we need to close that gap.
Absolutely, and I think we need to create opportunities to put our Latinas in a situation. For instance, the free mammogram services. That's when we're literally working with local Hispanically owned businesses, bringing the mammogram van to our site. We need to break down those barriers so that we have women that say, "Hey, I can't go to the hospital, I can't go to the doctors," because again, it saves lives, and I think that's our goal there.
Critical. Now, Salem and Cape May were the staple, and you moved into Cumberland County. So what's the presence you have in Cumberland County?
Well, in Cumberland County, we're proud to announce that next month we're going to be opening up our third office in the city of Vineland. And that office there is going to focus on our Hispanic Institute for Health, Cultural and Arts, and also Economic Development Initiative. And we're very happy. We're going to be centrally located there. We're going to be leveraging that office location to serve the needs of the county that has an enormous Hispanic population. When you look at statewide, they're number one in the density per population. And we're looking to do a lot of great things with local governments, but more importantly, a lot of great things with other community-based organizations there and faith-based organizations. So we're very, very excited.
Is very, very important.
Very critical. We can't work in silos. We need to work together because the need is out there. So we need to work together to really be able to have an impact in these communities.
Now let's talk about the locations. You mentioned the office in Salem and Cape May. Where are they located?
Yes,
actually?
The office in Salem is in Penns Grove. We've been there since day one, 1971. We also, here in the last 2 years, since our team has been operating in PRAC, we relocated. We have a great facility in Woodbine, and that serves the needs of the residents of Cape May County. We also use it for some services that we also provide in a small pocket of Atlantic County. But the Cumberland office is going to be, exclusively for Cumberland. And I think when we look at the demographics there and the need, oftentimes when it's health related or other matters that impact our community, I think it's going to be a game changer there.
We're going to continue this discussion. We need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. PRAC of Southern New Jersey is making it happen again this year with Legends of Salsa featuring Andy Montañez, Tito Rojas, Edgar Joel, and Anthony Colon. Ralph Padillas, once again here, talking about this great event. And we were just talking about your great organization, Ralph. And the fact is that to make those great things happen, you need funding. And this is a great fundraising event that you started for this is the second year. It was a great success last year, and you continue with it this year. Tell me a little bit about this great event.
Well, first of all, as you say, I mean, it's it's right part of our mission now. Cultural arts and entertainment is paramount to our organization. We are so proud and honored to have a relationship with the Levoy Theatre in Millville. This theater is the hidden jewel of South Jersey, and what we've been able to do there.
We're fortunate to have Phil here, who's going to talk a lot more about the theater and all the other great things they're doing there.
And what we've been able to say to ourselves is we want to bring the best entertainment in the world of Hispanic entertainment to South Jersey and specifically to Cumberland County. And last year, I want to thank you personally for being one of our hosts, but we sold the theater out. And for over 3 hours, 700 people, they danced in the aisles and they danced on the seats and they just had a great time. And we're proud to have this just superstar lineup this year.
Just going back to 1971 when you formed the organization and you read the mission statement, part of it was continuing the cultural heritage. And, salsa is just a great music throughout Latin America that's part of our culture.
Absolutely. And I think what is so unique when you have a cultural event like this is to see, young people dancing and seeing, people in their 60s, 70s and above being there enjoying the music. And I think the shows that we've put on, especially this one here, it really touches all of our audiences that really love the salsa music.
Let's talk about some of the artists. You really have some great artists. Andy Montañez is just renowned artist, as well as the Tito Rojas and the other two. And it's a reunion of sorts too. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, starting off with Andy Montañez, somebody put it best and they said he is the Tony Bennett of salsa music. He's a Latin
you
Grammy.
Call him El Godfather de la Salsa.
That's what he calls himself. Okay. And he's the godfather of salsa. Latin Grammy Award winner. He's been in the music industry for over 50 years, but when you see him on stage, you think he's a 25-year-old salsa star. Tito Rojas is coming off of just a monster tour in South America, just is wrapping up in Venezuela, and his only local appearance here is going to be in the city of Millville at the Levoy Theatre. And then Edgar Joel and Anthony Colon were, a Philadelphia act that they struck it big with a song called Hasta el Sol de Hoy. And like many other performing groups, they toured the world. They performed in Madison Square Garden at some of the largest, concerts in New York City, which is the mecca of salsa music. And like many other bands, they decided to part ways. And through a lot of arm twisting, we were able to bring these two back together on one stage for one night only. And they're going to be at the Levoy Theatre in Millville, and we are just ecstatic to have this show. And
the doors open at 7, and the concert starts at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock sharp.
One of the things that I loved about it last year, and it's just so nice and cozy, this theater, that you almost like you're on stage with the artist, which is very good. No matter how far back you sit, you really feel pretty close to the artist.
It's like I said, for us, it's the hidden jewel of South Jersey. And more importantly, it's very easily accessible. It's in the heart of South Jersey. It's just minutes from Route 55. It's, people that are familiar with the Cumberland Mall, it's a 3-minute drive from the Cumberland Mall. But once you get there, I think that's why we've gotten such an overwhelming support. We already have well over 600 tickets sold to the event. Wow. We only have several handful left. Great community support because, again, to have this type of show in South Jersey, it's monumental.
And it's not just the people that are coming to see the show, total sellout, but the fact that you have great corporate support as well.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to thank Atlantic City Electric and TD Bank and so many other of the sponsors. From local businesses to again, national companies. Also locally with ShopRite. The Botino family's been so supportive of us. But I think what it shows is that commitment to a partnership, and really that's our agenda at PRAC. We want to build bridges, and by bringing people together with events such as this, we all win as a community, as an organization. But more importantly, our heritage is really being represented. Presente.
Ralph, muchas gracias, and we're going to talk more about the theater with Phil, who's here. But thank you for sharing this information with our audience.
Thank you, Bert.
And we'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
The Levoy Theatre in Millville is the place to be for the event of the year on April the 1st. They also host other great events throughout the year, and joining me is Phil Van Emdem to discuss the happenings at the theater. And Phil, such a great partnership you have with PRAC. Last year was so successful. Tell me a little bit about that partnership.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be on your show, Bert. I feel like royalty here. PRAC of Southern New Jersey is a big supporter of the Levoy, and we are very proud to have them bring the second annual salsa concert to the Levoy.
You were sold out last year. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've had many popular shows. Not every show is a sellout, but the salsa show was definitely a sellout. The theater has approximately 696 seats, and I think Ralph might have sold about 701.
Let's talk a little bit about the history. This is an amazing place. And I was talking to Ralph and told how you felt so close to the performers, that no matter where you sat, there wasn't a bad seat. But this has a very nice history.
Thank you. The Levoy Theatre has been successful for a lot of reasons. One was the design. It has a classic design. We spent over an entire year working on the acoustics before we renovated the building and opened it back up in 2012.
It started as early as 1908?
The first incarnation of the Levoy was 1908. It was a small vaudeville theater. And in 1912 and 1927, it was expanded to the size you see today.
That's when they really knew how to build nice theaters back then.
Well, it was a lot of labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the other great things that you're doing in the theater.
The theater runs over 100 days of production a year, and by production I mean actual live performances. We have a partnership with the Off-Broad Street players who produce approximately 40 days of Broadway shows. We have nationally known comedians, rock bands, orchestras, you name it, we have it. We're very, very diverse in our
So there is a website for the theater. We'll put that up, and obviously you could get the rundown of all the acts, the upcoming acts, including the one on April 1st, which is the Legends Salsa concert, which is run by PRAC. Do you have other nonprofit organizations also do fundraising events and so forth on the theater?
Well, first of all, we're a nonprofit ourselves. We work with other nonprofits for production of Broadway shows, and we occasionally partner with other nonprofits for various things like Citizens United or people who are promoting their charities.
Obviously, over time, these theaters used to be like the hub. Now everyone's at home watching Netflix and other things, and so this is a real treat to go out to a theater, and really it is preserving our cultural heritage here locally in Southern New Jersey. How are you promoting the theater?
Well, there was a time when people got their news from the theater. They went to the theater. They saw a reel about the war or some other event, and it's as times change, like electronics change, and people change their ways of acquiring information. But I think we've seen a little bit of a surge now of people coming back to the one-on-one experience. There's nothing like seeing a person perform with real talent. It's great to see it on TV. It's fantastic in high def, but there's no way to beat the experience of seeing a true professional performing live.
You mentioned folks used to get the news going to the theater, but this particular theater goes way back when you had silent film as well.
Well, the first incarnation was vaudeville, which was basically just doing acts on the stage. The second thing that happened was silent movies were created, and back in those days, the Levoy Theatre had an organ, and someone would play music to the silent movie, and then of course we had talkies, and then color, and by 1974 the theater was closed because movies were passé, and it stayed closed for 40 years before we opened it in 2012.
You mentioned resurgence in 2012. How did that come about?
Well, it was an effort by a lot of great people in the city of Millville. Millville established an arts district, and they felt that part of the need for an arts district and part of the system of bringing people to town was to provide a quality of life, and the theaters have always been quality of life issues. The Levoy was designed as an economic engine as well. Over 35,000 people come buy tickets to the Levoy every year.
It's a great investment, and I know way back when they were talking about the theater and whether or not you put this money into the theater, whether or not it will be successful. So you as the chairman so far, how do you rate the success?
It's a raging success. It's never been easy, though. Theaters are very difficult to open, very difficult to run, but we have a fantastic crew of people doing that job, and it's proven to be worth every penny.
Well, I'm looking forward to April the 1st because I'm going to be there for the Legends of Salsa concert, and I'll be sure to see you there and hopefully visit the theater from other occasions as well.
I can guarantee it'll be a good party.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Phil, for sharing this information. And thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.